Hey folks, Renee here from TiPb.com, and we are taking a look at iOS 4.2 on the iPad. So the first thing we're going to do is look at multitasking. Yep, you have the fast app switcher right here along the bottom. You can just go through and see all the apps you're using. You can easily swing into and out of an app once they are in motion. You get the same carousel effect you get on the iPad, on the iPhone. You just pick what you want to look at, and you are away and off you go. So, of course, along with the fast app switcher, you get the new widgets, and we have the orientation lock button. You can turn the orientation on and off. But wait a minute, there's a hardware orientation button, you say. You don't need the software one. No, not anymore. With iOS 4.2, the previous hardware orientation lock button becomes a mute button, just like on the iPhone. So now the hardware is consistent. And you have the software also being consistent because you have the little widget to do it. It's not on the same side of the screen, however, so maybe that's going to change on the iPhone version too. You have your music app, if this is currently iPod, but if I was streaming with Safari or with iTunes or with Pandora or Slacker, that would be the icon there. You still have the skip, fast forward, play, skip back, or rewind button. And here you have a brightness slider. So you just touch it and you can dim the screen and increase the brightness on the screen. So very, very handy. Just like iPhone, if you double tap, if you need to force an application to restart, you can hold down, put it in jiggly mode. That still works. If you want to flush the RAM on the whole device, you hold down the sleep-wake button, just like always. The red slide to power off, you hold down home. A few seconds, and boom, you've flashed the ROM, you've cleared out the RAM, and you are good to go. Next piece of iOS 4 goodness you get is folders. So I can take all my Dr. Seuss books and just drop them into a folder, and it will intelligently name them for me. I still wish I could just drag them in, but I can just go back here now at least, and it's not quite as aggravating as it used to be. And you can have, unlike the iPhone, you can have up to 20 apps inside a folder, and as you add more, it kind of scrolls the list so you can see that you're dropping new ones in there, and then when you stop, it scrolls them back down. I'll do that again just so you can see. Nice and close here. Take a new one, scrolls the list. Okay, come here, you. Drops it down, and then when you stop, it scrolls it back. Another new feature, long waited for feature, is you have the unified inbox. Google gets its own little specialized icon with iOS 4.1 and now 4.2 as well, and you have Exchange, so you can just go in there, and yes, your emails are all threaded. So the next thing we're going to look at is Game Center. Game Center is finally on the iPad. You can see Apple is definitely sticking with the gaming table motif. This is what it looks like. You have cards scattered on the outside here. You have apps scattered on the outside as if they were cards. You can click on those to go look at them in the App Store. You have your account in the middle here. Mine's not showing up for some reason, but it should be there. You have your friends, and now you just pick a friend and you can see what their stats are, what games they're playing if they have any games. But there you go. You also have individual games. You can go in, you can look at the leaderboard. It's all loading up. The scrolling, it is slow, but it is a beta. Achievements. So very, very similar to the iPhone or iPod Touch version, just much, much bigger. Recently played is up on the top now. And you have friend requests. It looks like the 500 friend limit is still being imposed. Again, for most people, that's not a problem. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is AirPrint. So AirPrint is this technology that lets you print wirelessly to different devices. So you can see here, email sent to me, it's all the same. Copy photo, that looks newish, but there's a nice print button here. The print button says, select a printer, how many copies you want, and print. I don't have a printer set up now. We'll do a separate video just to show that off, but that is where the option lives. In Safari, you are supposed, instead of a plus button, you have the usual action button that lets you add bookmarks, add to home page, mail link to this page, and also print. And yes, it works pretty much the same way. You just touch it and you get the same options. Also, if you come over here to search, I can click in search, type in a term, and at the bottom here it says on this page. So I can just click on that and it highlights, for example, there's one highlight, and I can go through those. It's one of 16 matches. I can type next, it'll go to the next one. Next, it'll go to the next one. So this is all shades of awesome. I have been waiting for this for so long. I've used JavaScript bookmarklets, I've cursed, I've used offensive language, but now to have it here, it is stupendous. And when you're done, it just goes away. So a really nice way of doing it, really smartly integrated. Kudos, Apple. Over here in settings, interesting one. Notes now has an option to set the font. It says marker felt. Why? There is Chalkboard, Helvetica. Helvetica is a system font. Chalkboard is like marker felt with a shave and a haircut. If we go into Safari, I did a screenshot combining them all. And there they are. So if we look at these nice and close, there is Chalkboard, Helvetica, and the good old marker felt. You can finally change the font.